Meet John, a man who transformed his life in a year simply by changing his habits. John was once a man weighed down both physically and emotionally. He carried an extra 50 pounds on his frame, but more than that, he hauled around a sense of dissatisfaction with his life. His days were a blur of unhealthy eating, sedentary routines, and constant stress. Then, one day, he decided he needed a change. John's journey to transformation began with a simple step. He started with small exercises, just 20 minutes a day. He didn't aim to run a marathon or lift heavy weights. Instead, he chose to commit to a little bit of movement each day. A walk around the block, a few sit-ups in the morning, or a short bike ride. These were not grand gestures, but they were a start. As he began to see the benefits of this new routine, John slowly started to incorporate healthier eating habits. He traded fast food lunches for fresh salads, sugary sodas for water, and late-night snacks for a good night's sleep. These changes were not drastic, but they were deliberate. The final piece of his transformation puzzle was meditation. John dedicated 10 minutes each day to clear his mind and focus on his breathing. This small act of mindfulness gave him the mental strength to maintain his new habits and resist the temptation to fall back into old routines. John's transformation took time. It wasn't a sprint, but a marathon. Each day he took small steps towards his goal. Each day he made the choice to stick to his new habits. It was not easy, and there were days when he wanted to give up. But he didn't. He persisted. And over the course of a year, these small, consistent changes added up to a significant transformation. John lost weight, gained confidence, and found a new sense of contentment in his lifestyle. His transformation was not a miracle. It was not the result of a magic pill or a quick fix. John's transformation was not a miracle, but a testament to the power of habits. To understand how John transformed his life, we need to delve into the science of habits. Now, what exactly is a habit? It's a behavior that we repeat so often that it becomes almost automatic. And interestingly, there's a pattern to how habits form. Imagine a circle. This circle represents what we call the habit loop, and it's made up of 3 distinct parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. Let's break these down. First, we have the cue. This is a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. It could be anything: a certain time of day, a specific location, or even an emotional state. For instance, you might feel stressed, and that stress becomes a cue for you to reach for a chocolate bar. Next up is the routine. This is the actual behavior that we typically think of as the habit. It's what you do in response to the cue. So, in our example, the routine is eating the chocolate bar. Finally, we have the reward. This is the positive reinforcement that tells your brain, hey, this routine is worth remembering. In our chocolate bar example, the reward might be the temporary relief of stress. So, we've got our cue, our routine, and our reward. Together, they form a loop that our brain follows over and over again until the behavior becomes automatic. You might be wondering why our brains do this. Well, the answer is simple: efficiency. Our brains are always looking for ways to save effort. By turning frequent actions into habits, our brains free up resources to focus on other tasks. But here's the kicker: our brains can't tell the difference between good habits and bad ones. They're just looking for patterns that they can automate. That's why habits, whether they're helping us or hindering us, can be so hard to break. Habits, good or bad, are powerful tools that our brain uses to make our lives easier. And understanding how they work is the first step towards harnessing their power for our benefit. Our daily lives are a reflection of our habits. From the moment we rise until we lay our heads to rest, our daily routines are filled with habits. These ingrained actions, often performed without conscious thought, have a profound influence on our health, productivity, and happiness. Let's consider our health. Picture 2 individuals, one with a habit of eating balanced, nutritious meals and exercising regularly, and the other with a penchant for fast food and a sedentary lifestyle. The former is likely to enjoy good health, energy, and longevity, while the latter may face a host of health issues, from obesity to heart disease. The difference isn't merely a result of individual choices, but the accumulated impact of their daily habits. On to productivity. Imagine 2 employees. One has a habit of planning their workday, setting goals, and focusing on one task at a time, while the other is prone to multitasking, frequent interruptions, and procrastination. Over time, the former is likely to outperform, demonstrating how constructive habits can lead to success. Finally, let's touch on happiness. Think of 2 friends, one who cultivates gratitude, maintains close relationships, and makes time for relaxation, and the other who habitually worries, neglects self-care, and isolates themselves. The former is likely to lead a more fulfilled, happier life, underscoring how our habits can shape our emotional well-being. But remember, habits aren't set in stone. They're malleable, changeable. The person who eats fast food can learn to love salads. The procrastinator can become a master planner. The worrier can cultivate positivity. Each of us has the power to transform our habits, and in doing so, transform our lives. Whether we realize it or not, our habits are shaping our tomorrows. They're the invisible architects of our lives, subtly guiding our actions and ultimately, our outcomes. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Changing habits is not easy, but it's possible and can lead to significant transformations. And here, we'll explore just how to accomplish that. First off, let's talk about identifying triggers. These are the specific events or conditions that initiate our habits. Maybe it's a cup of coffee that triggers your smoking habit, or perhaps stress that leads you to binge eat. Identifying these triggers can be a major step towards changing your habits. Once you know what sparks your unwanted behaviors, you can start to take control. Next, we need to focus on replacing bad habits with good ones. It's not enough to just stop a bad habit. You need to fill the void it leaves behind. For instance, if you're trying to quit smoking, you could replace the habit with something healthier, like going for a walk or practicing deep breathing exercises whenever you feel the urge to light up. But remember, the key to successfully changing habits is consistency. It's not about making a huge change overnight, it's about making small, consistent changes over time. Think about it this way. If you improve just 1% every day, that's a 365% improvement in a year. So don't be discouraged if progress seems slow. It's the small, consistent steps that often lead to the biggest transformations. And let's not forget, patience is your ally in this journey. Change takes time. It won't happen instantly. Sometimes it might feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But that's okay. What's important is you're moving forward. You're making progress. And every step you take brings you closer to your goal. Finally, always remember to be kind to yourself. Changing a habit is hard work. It requires courage and determination. So celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Every time you resist a bad habit or practice a good one, give yourself a pat on the back. You're doing great. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So take that step today. Start changing your habits for success, because you have the power to transform your life, one habit at a time. Now that you understand the power of habits, it's your turn to implement new routines for success. Imagine a single habit that you'd like to change. Maybe it's reaching for that extra cookie, spending too much time on your phone, or skipping out on exercise. Whatever it may be, acknowledge it. Recognize it's there, but also know that it doesn't define you. Now take a moment to consider a positive habit you can replace it with. If you're reaching for an extra cookie, maybe it's time to reach for an apple instead. If you're spending too much time on your phone, perhaps you could replace some of that time with reading a good book. And if you're skipping out on exercise, could you possibly squeeze in a 10-minute walk around the block? Now here's the challenge. For the next 30 days, every time you feel the urge to engage in your old habit, replace it with your new positive habit. It won't be easy, and there will be days when you'll want to give up. But remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about making small, consistent changes that will have a big impact over time. Think about how this new habit could transform your life. Imagine the positive effects it could have on your health, your relationships, your work, your overall well-being. This isn't just about changing a habit, it's about changing your life, one small step at a time. So are you ready to take on this challenge? Are you ready to make a change and see the difference it can make in your life? Remember, you have the power. You have the ability to make choices that can lead to a healthier, happier, more fulfilling life. And the best part is, you don't have to do this alone. We're in this together. Share your progress, your struggles, your victories. Let's encourage each other and celebrate the small wins along the way. Because every step forward, no matter how small, is a step towards a better you. Change begins today. You have the power to transform your life, one habit at a time. Before we wrap up, remember that habit change is a commitment and consistency. It's not going to happen overnight, so be patient with yourself. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments section. Share your progress, your challenges, your triumphs. Let's learn and grow together. Subscribe to Online with Teresa for more insights and tips on self-improvement. Don't forget to comment below about your habit change journey. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Together we can achieve more.